he was going to be here. He's in the sign-up sheet.
Oh, I saw that.
He
Yeah.
accepted the invite, but I put an asterisk because that doesn't always mean that he'll show up.
Asterisk. Did someone call for a PBX?
We're in the pre-show pre-banter part.
No, there's not that many pre's. This is just one pre.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is just the pre-show.
Let's ask Chad GPT what he thinks.
Well, I read 500,000 books last weekend, and they cost me $3,000 each. This is a spoiler for a future news article. Actually, you know what? Honestly, to get more specific to the news article, I didn't even read them. I just downloaded the books.
You just
I guess I should change my name to like Claude. Should I change it to Claude GPT?
Oh my god. Okay, that's
all right. I'm doing it. Hold on. Now, honestly, as a cyclist, I wish I was French. Then I could go and ride all the awesome French roads.
That's right. Yeah, you might have to shave your legs because that's part of the deal.
You know, I have friends who do it, and they're like trying to get me to do it. I'm like, that's a commit. I'm not committing to that.
Yeah,
like that's like a
it's for real.
months long. Like, yeah, like if you do it, I mean, also like you can look it up, and it gives you an aerodynamic benefit of like 1% or like 2% or something. It's like,
yeah.
I'll just pedal harder.
I had back when I was riding my road bike, and I haven't done that for a while, but yeah, I had people trying to get me to do that too, and I was like, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, they're having watched many females in my life suffer through having to shave their legs for their whole lives. I'm not sure I'm trying to get into that.
Yeah.
You could always
I heard the
also
best
the
way.
chest. I mean, we've
Go
seen the
for laser.
Seinfeld episode. What happens when he shaves his chest?
Oh my
He's
god!
like, I couldn't stop.
Don't even go there.
I heard the best way to improve your speed scores is to leave your Garmin device thing on as you throw the bike in the back of your truck and drive off.
There you go.
If you do that, it will, first of all, it will auto detect it. And second of all, I will report you when I see people that do that. Cause I'm like, listen, I'm out here sweating and you're driving 60 miles an hour and getting all the KOMs. I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, not
I'll
cool.
report it.
Not cool.
We don't know if Ralph's coming, Wade, but I'd say if you're here, it's first come, first served. So you snooze, you lose.
Oh. It's Ralph is here. I'm gonna let him in.
Uh-oh. Hold on to your... Oh my god. Okay.
I grew hair.
Well played.
I have less doors now too. If anyone
Oh, we
remembers
need more
that.
volume, Ralph.
Did you go to real
Typical
fake
Ralph.
doors?
Typical Ralph. Classic Ralph.
Also, I don't really believe you because I see 2 doors right there.
Ralph had like 4 doors.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
swear. I
4
don't have a
doors
cool
and
server.
7 years ago.
That's such a lot.
Oh my god.
If he shows up, I'll leave. We
No.
won't know though.
No, we got the Brady Bunch. We're going. Snooze, you lose.
We got the full
That's right.
Hollywood Squares.
Full Hollywood. Yeah.
Anybody else dealing with packages today? Just UPS dropping them off and stuff like that?
Oh, you're talking about NPM packages? I'm just kidding.
Maybe.
All right, roll the finger.
Your
Let's do
volume
this.
is very, very low.
Why
Yeah,
are you
Ralph
so
or
low?
Wade?
Wade.
Who?
Ralph.
Wade
I'm-
/ Ralph.
I'm Ralph. Wait,
Oh,
let's see.
sorry, Ralph.
There we go. Is it louder?
That's
I don't know
better.
Oh
what.
my
I don't know.
goodness.
Yeah, you
I don't know
Now we
what.
can hear you.
Now we can hear you.
Windows always just turns it down. I don't know what in Windows turns it down. Like
Yeah,
I have
well,
to go into sound settings.
It's
Like-
Windows. I mean...
I guess Windows does make things quieter.
Should we just call him Ralph? All right,
Ralph.
Ralph.
Only
Okay,
if
there
you
we go.
close your windows.
I don't know.
Roll
I
the
like
finger.
Braid.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna find the video now. I was doing the other
Ryan
tasks.
Google's how to podcast.
how to put on a production.
How do
Here we
you
go.
do
Let me
a
ask
podcast?
Claude GPT.
As
right,
a
here we
large
go.
language model. Hello and welcome to Black Hills Information Security's Talkin' About News. It's September 8th, 2025. full into pumpkin spice season. We got spooky, scary skeletons coming soon. This week, we've got AI paying $1.5 billion to read some books. I mean, that's fun. We've got some breaches. And honestly, we have a pretty interesting scoop on some international chicken eggs that occurred that we'll talk about later in the show.
More chicken
no spoilers.
news.
We got chicken news, everyone. Welcome. So,
All right,
I like how we have not one but two podcast hosts who are talking chicken to each other. Sadly,
They must have downloaded
that.
They downloaded the app. They now know.
Sadly, the AI app is unable to translate what they were saying, but we're just gonna have to guess. So, okay, can we start? I guess we could start with the new kind of ransomware that instead of like releasing your documents to the public, is just going to submit them to AI to be used for training. I don't think this article, so this is an article in 404 Media. I don't think it's like gonna be a real thing, but it is just too interesting as a concept to not talk about it.
I saw that last week and read through it real fast and went, so they're going ahead and threatening to do what AI is already doing, which is taking these artists' work and copying it. And they're threatening to do this, and this is supposed to make them pay up. Why?
Exactly. It's like the same thing as, we're going to submit your data breach to the SEC. It's like, okay, well, we were already going to have to do that anyway, but I guess if you want to do it for us, like it's kind of silly.
So the site they're doing it to makes a whole lot of promises to their artists that they will never, ever, ever put AI anything onto the site, and they will never, ever, ever share anything that is on the site to AI systems. So they're basically saying, we are going to destroy the one promise you're making to your suppliers that makes you different from everybody else, or you're going to give us $50K.
So you're saying this is highly targeted ransomware. This is like malicious ransomware.
This is a very targeted leverage point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the reason ridiculous. It made news.
Like they found this great leverage point to like destroy this company one way or another, but they're asking for $50K. And it makes me wonder just how much they actually have.
Probably, I mean, this seems like a smaller company if they're only asking for $50K. And I feel like the reason it's newsworthy is not because it's super, like ransomware people tailor their demands. We know this. Like the first document they're going to look up is going to be like, cyberinsurancelimits.pdf or whatever. But I think, like you said, reading their website, looking at their stuff and seeing, okay, this is clearly a pain point for them. Let's go after this pain point. I don't think this is going to get used by other ransomware groups, but it would be funny if it became a theme. It's like, we'll train an AI and use it against you. Oh no. Like it seems kind of like an empty threat to me, but who knows?
What if this is like a whole new threat actor that just goes around stealing information and then selling that stolen information for large language models?
You're talking about like Anthropic?
Yeah. Oh wow. Whoa. Did they do that? No. Did they steal? What did they steal?
Yeah. So so this is a segue into the next article, which is on Friday. I think it was announced that Anthropic has said they're going to settle a class action lawsuit for $1.5 billion, at least $1.5 billion, to a class of people, mainly authors, who had their books pirated by Anthropic. The ironic thing here is that a judge ruled that using books in large language models is not copyright infringement because it's covered under fair use. However, the problem is they downloaded a crap load of books, like 500,000 or more, from pirated sources. So they did actually, quote unquote, steal. And we won't get into the ethics of piracy or whatever. Like, we'll leave that for a separate podcast. But they're basically, it sounds like they can prove that Anthropic downloaded 500,000 books from various like gray market type sites, and they're going to go after them for some money because of that. So ironically, like if they just hadn't pirated all the books, they'd be fine, but they did. And I don't know if 1.5 billion is a real number. That doesn't seem like it could be to me, but that's if you take 500,000 times 3,000 per person. I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, Bronwyn, what do you think? Any other AI hot takes, people out here?
Well, it'll be interesting to see if this is going to be a new trend because, of course, Open AI, they got a get out of jail free card, like you said, where this is supposedly fair use. And now Anthropic is getting hit with a class action suit and it's actually been awarded. Yeah, it's going to be a while. I think that the intellectual property issues are still going to be going back and forth for a while.
Is the issue though with Anthropic that they were using stolen media, like pirated copies of the books? Like, I guess it's okay to use, purchased copies of the books, but when you're going out to all these pirate sites, apparently that's, I think, the difference.
Yes, exactly.
I'm trying to remember if it was OpenAI or if it was Anthropic who actually did scan, destructively scan thousands of books, where the high speed scanners, they basically, you buy a book, you rip the pages out of the binding, you feed it in, and it can scan thousands of pages in an hour. I don't even know what the numbers are. And I want to say that OpenAI bought the books, scanned them, and used them for training. But now Anthropic is getting hit with a lawsuit for doing the exact same thing that OpenAI has been given. Like I said, it's fair use, no problem.
So it's not the same thing. That's why they're getting sued.
So what I recall is that OpenAI pulled down like LibGen, which is completely pirated. The whole thing is piracy. And that's what it is. But Anthropic tried to buy all of these books, scanned all of these books, put them in, and also grabbed pirated stuff. Like, they acted like they were going to do the good thing, but they also did the bad thing. And now they're on the hook for the bad thing part. And I read this settlement as them saying, we're going to pay you $3,000 per title to pretend we properly bought your book in the first place. And as I understand it, this isn't a judgment. It's a settlement.
Yes, correct.
So they are preventing any legal precedent from getting set by paying $3,000 per title or per person it's against.
I think that, you nailed it. It's
for them, I think the $1.5 billion is really just we want to make sure nothing goes on the books to bite us about this later.
Yeah, it's literally I'm going to pay you $3,000 to F off. Yeah. Thank you. Yep. But I mean, whatever.
And like,
I thought they were the good guys.
OpenAI has definitely done this worse.
This is how AI works. That's the nature of large language models. They have to be large.
This is how capitalism works.
Okay, that's true, but I wouldn't use an AI that hadn't read any books. So
if it was communism, wouldn't they have just shared the books with them anyway?
True. Yeah. And we wouldn't be able to afford, we wouldn't have LLMs because no one would ever have seed money to make an LLM. But anyway.
So if I would have rented all the books from the library, no.
No, so basically the long story short is fair use LLMs are covered by fair use. From what, I'm not a copyright lawyer. I don't know. Sue me. Actually, please don't sue me. But basically, fair use covers AIs ingesting books, but they have to be acquired legally, and that's essentially what Anthropic didn't do, which makes sense because it's just a data processing. Buying and scanning 500,000 books might cost more than $1.5 billion, to be honest. I guess, who knows? But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one.
So a question on like AI and LLMs, when they're trained with illicit data like this or ill-acquired data like this, how easily can it be cleaned up or forgotten by the AI? Because it's sort of like, if you download a bunch of, copyrighted material and they catch you on it, send you that letter saying they send you that cease and desist, you can say, okay, I've deleted all those files off of my machine. Sorry about that. I don't have any copies of this. Here's a certificate saying we got rid of all of them. But for AI, can they detrain that, or is it basically like, we took early copies of books, unauthorized copies of books, and we put them out into our training model? How do they?
You'd have to establish some way to uncompute the neural network training process to do that.
You would just have to retrain. Yeah.
Right. Like Like the one way is to say, I threw out the thing that had the training and I redid it with not that, but everything else I already did. So I didn't have to rework absolutely everything. But like, you can't go back in and say, I need to tweak this weight by this much and this one by this much to get the neural network to play nice and never reference that thing again, except by pure accident.
Yeah,
it's going to be retraining, like, which is cost intensive.
Right.
And like, I thought that a little bit with
if you imagine that it's, say, I'm going to say Mark Twain for argument's sake because he gets quoted so many places, but he's public domain, so this doesn't actually work that way. If Mark Twain came in and said, you're going to take out everything I wrote, and they retrain on everything except Mark Twain's works, they're still going to have Mark Twain in there because they've got all the people quoting Mark Twain in the middle of something else that they still have permission to train on.
Good point.
I mean, yeah, this is kind of the current theme with AI, or at least with large language models, is there's no reality, or there's no reality where it never ingests any kind of copyright protected work. It's just not going to happen. Like, these things are designed to be siphons of data, and when you're a siphon of data, you're going to encounter data that you probably shouldn't have. This is like the scrape the internet thing. You could start a news article with, we discovered that blank is in the training data for ChatGPT, and you could put almost anything in blank and it would be an accurate news article. Like, they're just hoovers and they go out on the internet and find everything they can find. I mean, there's even another class action lawsuit right now against Anthropic as well from copyright. Like, they're claiming that it also ingested copyright protected song lyrics, which I just find hilarious. Like, how is that? Like, everyone's piling on to the sue AI and get money out of them bandwagon.
Yeah, and I was thinking
the other thing that's happening is that these publishers and other entities that you're using to go ahead and put out the works are putting into their contracts now that this will be ingested by AI and you are agreeing to it in the contracts for it. I've heard of a few people that write books that were going through Amazon that all of a sudden that popped up into their contract. They were smart enough to read the updated contracts. So they're trying to go ahead now and get it to be a legal thing where you contracted part of the contract, you signed the contract. Part of that says that your work is now being ingested into AI.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
I'm wondering, like, think about with the Amazon comment, right? Amazon has such a monopoly on Audible. If you were to want to sell it there, I could easily see them making you say your audiobook is now going to be digested by AI because there's really nowhere else to go for audiobooks.
So, okay, people in the Discord are totally nailing the corollary between old school music, like you know, this is like the whole thing of like, oh, Napster, it's just Napster again. And how we ended up, as a little history lesson, is basically we have Napster now. It's just called Spotify, and it has a $5.99 a month subscription fee. Like, we basically ended up with Napster, and I would guess that the same reality is true for AI. We're going to end up with large language models, and we're going to have some weird licensing model or something for how they deal with copyrighted content. But it's probably going to be a very similar theme where some of the early adopters get punched in the face with copyright lawsuits, and then they have to figure out the rest. But we end up with the product in the end because the product makes the most sense. No one wants to pay 99 cents for every song they listen to, right? So same thing applies to AI reading books. You don't want to be like, oh, if you want me to provide a summary of, you know, War and Peace by Tolstoy, you're going to have to upload a receipt proving that you've purchased the book, or like, I don't know. It's just never going to happen at scale. But
yeah, or, you know, I mean, if they have, you know, unauthorized copies, especially if it starts getting into stuff that is like pre-publication, you know, the publishers could look at it and say, like, who's going to buy our book when you can just ask ChatGPT to summarize this book that came out yesterday, or the book that's not going to, you know, that's going to come out next week. You already know how it ends. Like, here's.
But who's going to buy an album? But the same
needs
logic applies to any media. Who's going to buy an album when I already listened to the hot single on Spotify or on the radio? Who's going to watch a movie when I already saw the, you know, preview? Who's going to, like, I don't know. It's like, there's so many corollaries of this. And the reality is you just have to adjust your business model, right? Like, artists have moved to merch sales.
Right?
Okay,
let's look at Sanderson. right? Sanderson didn't publish his most recent book on any platform. He published it himself. The only place
the
to buy
Radiohead
it right
approach?
now,
That's just called Radioheading.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't listen to Radiohead, but he's
so
like one of the biggest
cool?
book. No, I'm not that. I'm Wouf. I'm not that cool. But he got past it. But also, this is one of the most powerful authors during this time, right? So if he can publish it himself, but also a lot of the fans for these books and stuff like that, they're not going to go here and say, give me the ending of this book. I still think the people who are going to want this are still going to buy it if you have that good of a fan base. I think it's more of just these people using it against your permission is the problem. I don't think anyone is going to say, give me the lyrics to this one song or give me a summary unless it's a sixth grader trying to do his book report real quick.
Yes, no one's going to pay for that.
There is another problem, though, because the current state of LLMs is that, generally speaking, even if they've been trained with copyrighted intellectual property, they're not going to reliably source that thus and thus came from this book written by Brandon Sanderson or, Samuel Clemens or whoever. It all gets mashed up, kind of like, loaded mashed potatoes. You've got all of this stuff in there, but it's all mixed up together and it isn't really coherent and identifiable separately necessarily. So
yes, that's a good point. You can't extract the data. You can't say, give me the entire copy of War and Peace. Like, I don't think you can, but
no, you can't. And the closest thing to doing that is something like Perplexity or other answer engines where they're using the LLM style interface, but they're going and they're actually pulling specific references, and you get source citation of, here's this and this is where I'm getting this information from. That's different from what Anthropic is doing, what ChatGPT does, and what other typical LLM chatbots, what their behaviors are.
Yeah.
I also have to think that you got to focus a little bit also on the nonfiction and not just the War and Peace or Tom Sawyer or Huckleberry Finn or a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court type situation, where all these nonfiction books on how to do so and so are getting brought in, or math books and how to go ahead and do this and how to do that were written by specific people for specific things that can be used in a different way and would normally be cited in references.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's where one of the biggest problems comes from. The academic side of things, the nonfiction side of things, is where where I'm thinking we really run into a bunch of that copyright stuff, because the whole summary of a story thing, that's maybe good for some kid writing a book report. Maybe.
Yeah, I got you. You're basically saying that putting it into AI negates its usage, or at least makes it really pointless for the people who would actually need it, which is kind of true for a lot of things, right? Like, hopefully no scientists are going on ChatGPT and being like, hey, can you explain how to do my job? And like scientifically, when you get down into the nitty gritty details, AI tends to fall over, at least LLMs do. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think hopefully no one's using AI for that use case, but I mean, I guess that statement is always false. There's always someone using AI for anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should move on. I don't want to spend too much time on AI. We could circle the drain forever on AI. Let's talk about this Dashcam thing. So, So basically, this is an article by Joseph Cox on 404 Media. Basically, there's a company called Nexar, which is, I can't believe this even exists, but essentially a company that sells CCTV footage, which is just dash cam footage, and they repackage it and sell it to companies. I guess the legitimate, I'll put legitimate in quotes, legitimate use case for this would be a city who wants a feed of their city being driven via dash cam, so they can look at where people are honking and yelling at each other and then be like, this is a traffic intersection with problems, we need to go fix this. But from what I can tell, this company baked the S3 keys into the camera or into the software and the S3 keys had like global read access. And so some threat actor researcher, whatever you want to call them, pulled down the keys out of the application or out of the hardware, and then realized that those keys could access 140 terabytes of dashcam footage, which is a lot. And so then they went through some of the images, which you can see on the article, which include things like driving up to military bases, driving up to secure facilities. I mean, it's driving, right? So it covers a huge amount of information. It also, some of the cameras are facing the driver. And I don't really understand how anyone ended up with these products in their cars. Like, this is like the whole legal botnet thing we talked about last week, where it's like, it's cheaper if you subscribe to a data model or what. I don't know exactly how they sold it to their customers, but I can't imagine being like, yeah, I'll just sell you my dash cam footage for $2 a month. Like,
what
that
brand
sounds
of
like
what's the brand of cameras that they sell?
I think it's their own.
That's
because like think about
check, but I think it's their own brand.
Yeah, so
I think
think
they
about
are
the like
cameras.
I'm trying to think about the legit, like how these cameras, do they have do they have a chip in it? Like, how are they getting the data on the internet? Is it going through your app on your phone, right? Do they have some SIM card?
They've got to be LTE. They're LTE.
Are they
connected.
LTE? Like, that's a lot of work with the LTE too, but it's also crazy that people, like you said, people sign up for this, but the sheer amount of LTE data for all of these webcams has to be ridiculous. And then holding that much storage in an S3 bucket alone, like, is ridiculous cost.
Yeah. It's just like if Ring just had S3 keys that were all Ring customers for one bucket.
As far
at
as
least
the
Ring
goes,
is hooked up to your internet at home.
But like, I'm pretty sure the business model goes, we will let you sign up and you give us permissions, and maybe we sell you the camera itself. But instead of charging you anything for all of the data feed costs, that gets you access to what you were doing and the ability to say, this is what happened when they rear-ended me. We have permission to also use whatever your footage is. And then they turn around and they sell it. Like, you talked about a legitimate use case. I know that the use case they say they do the most is to say, I want this location, says company who has a door at that location, to have video feeds anytime in case somebody tries to break in, or in case someone comes plowing into the door and knocks down half my building, so that even if they try to hit and run, I know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
The big companies are paying for the data, and that's where the money is coming from for most of it.
Correct. And I guess, like, obviously their product page is here, Ryan. I don't know if you want to pull it up, but basically looking at the product page, there's two things that jump out at me. Number one, the dash cams are pretty cheap for a 4K, or I don't know if it's 4K, but for a high definition dash cam front and rear is only $214. That's pretty cheap. And I think the other thing that's kind of a selling point to customers is that it says it has unlimited cloud backups, right? So like they're basically saying, we'll give you unlimited cloud storage and you let us sell your data. That's like basically so here's the product page. It says unlimited cloud backups. It also does market itself as AI enabled. So
built in 4G LTE. That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. This is like, it's one of those things where, like, obviously, hopefully the company takes it and fixes it. But from a privacy perspective, it's really interesting. Like, they contacted the DoD or some military organizations and said, like, hey, like, do you do any kind of special regulations or restrictions on dash cams? Because if I'm just an Uber Eats driver and you let me on base or whatever, like, now there's a feed of that just forever. And they said basically that they are not, like, the military said they're not aware of any specific concerns around dash cams. Obviously they have their own, like, surveillance policies and things like that, but I don't know, it's just kind of the amount of information that is contained herein is spooky to me. It's like just the amount, 140 terabytes of dash cam footage. Not only would you have anyone who was actually driving way too much personal information about them, they're probably buying things on the phone, or I don't know, it's a disaster. But also, like, just the things they were recording, pulling up to people's driveways, pulling up to their, I don't know. It's crazy how much data is encapsulated in that amount of recording.
So while you all have been talking, I've been doing a little research on the side here, and so it seems that users install the Nexar dash cams and they continuously capture video and sound. That's the default. The recordings are uploaded, stored, organized by Nexar, and then they create a searchable interface with public maps where images are supposedly blurred, and then clients can purchase access to monitor specific locations or periods over time.
Oh my.
Ew.
So out the gate, this thing is a privacy nightmare.
Yeah,
I bet they're selling to the purveyors of driverless self-driving cars as well, right? Because
totally.
Tesla's one of them that trains on an enormous amount of data that they collect. But if they can
and Tesla, I was going to say,
right?
They do the same thing. They have their own dash cams and collect feeds of you while you're driving.
Exactly.
And
so I feel totally justified putting a Toyota badge on my Tesla now. So.
You better cover up all 18 cameras too while you're at it. Yeah,
this would be a good deal just to use as a security camera.
Yeah,
in one location the whole time. Just like post it up somewhere, right? It's recording. It's got live feed. It backs everything up. It's not going to be moving, but it's going to work pretty well.
Yeah. So you're telling me I need to park my Toyota on my front porch? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Right.
Okay,
like, your front porch is your ring right next to your doorbell. That's real weird. Oh my gosh!
So I swear, I put it on my really expensive car that no one should ever steal, and that I never ever actually drive.
Your house,
because it would break.
Nice.
I'm living in my car, so this is a great deal for me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, basically, you brought it up. So, I mean, I think we all just have to say this probably isn't the only company doing this.
Right.
And this probably isn't the only vertical where this is happening. This is happening in home security cameras. This is happening in baby monitors. This is happening in AI-enabled toilets. Like,
oh my god!
Yeah, we've had that. We've proved that.
Safe to say, I mean, it's the old adage, right? If the product is too good to be true, that means you're part of the product, right? Like your data
I'm so glad I own a dumb car.
I'm glad I own a dumb toilet
right now.
And we were saying, companies, but I'm like, if you could even have governments that go, hey, I know there's going to be a protest for reasons, it's going to be occurring in downtown Detroit this weekend. I'm going to request all of this dash cam footage on anything in this 3-block area
during this period of time.
And how easy would it be? How easy would it be to tell whose dash cams in whose car, who showed up at what time? Like the amount of things you could do, it's a disaster.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then you get into all of the facial and other recognition things that are being done.
Exactly.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm a member of the last generation that knows what privacy actually was.
Oh, the Zennials?
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, even then we had satellites, I don't know. But okay, while we're here in like depressing privacy corner, let's continue one step down the rung and talk about how ICE now has access to spyware.
Oh my god.
So like, I don't want to get too political here, but basically Israeli, this goes back to like the, it's called Paragon now, but it's basically the same thing as, what was I forget, Pegasus? Like it's the same thing. It's just different company, different packaging. Essentially the article is that a government contract which just started in the Biden administration and was reviewed or under review to make sure that like the government's usage of spyware was supposed to be like, can you imagine being like, all right, guys, we're going to buy the spyware, but we got to make sure that we only use it ethically. It's going to be fine. Essentially, that process has now concluded, and the government now has access to Paragon Solutions products, which include spyware. My whole thing is like, okay, so ICE has this. Who are they using it on? Because it's got to be really expensive, right? Like if it's anything like Pegasus, it costs a ridiculous amount of money. It's a $2 million contract, right? So that's actually, I guess that's pretty cheap for a piece of software like this. Does it give them like unlimited access to it? Like it's unclear to me how this is going to be used. Obviously, put your tinfoil hats on as far as how it's going to be used, but
yeah, well,
I don't know.
I mean, first of all, for
sketch.
the record, I'm podcasting and I've got my phone in an RF bag. Okay, so
talk about paranoid.
My tinfoil.
Now, do you have a big one for your Tesla? No. Okay. Anyway,
there's a story on the Tesla. The Tesla's in the shop getting fixed right now. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called the Toyota now.
Okay.
Yeah. No kidding, right? When I want to have a conversation, a podcast, anything, this thing goes in the bag now, right? So don't try to call me because it's not going to work.
I know that for immigration, right? They do make people download an app in order to
Is it called spyware.gov?
That's what I'm thinking now. In order for it to book times and in order to get a space, in order to and there's a raffle system, right? In order to actually get your court case and get that allowed in order for you to get heard by a judge. I'm wondering if they're baking that into those apps so then they can both track those individuals that are trying to get across and then to see if they're trying to get across illegally.
I'm sure it won't be abused at all.
Stalkerware baked in.
Well, it reminds me, like, it takes me back to the Clipper chip, which all of you on this podcast are too young to remember, probably. But if anybody remembers, way back in the 90s, yes, I said way back in the 90s, the government tried to say, trust me, we're the government. We want to backdoor all encryption with a special chip, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was never a good idea, right? And everybody pushed back as hard as they could, including fine folks like Bruce Schneier and many of his compatriots at the time. But, 9/11 happened. Ever since the Patriot Act, we have lost all privacy. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
They're even in our video games. They don't let you to install Battlefield 6. You need to have what's the chip you need to have installed for the anti-cheat to work? Is it the trusted something module, whatever it's called?
Yeah.
The game won't work unless you have that installed.
Yeah.
Which I thought was crazy. So I have buddies who couldn't play the video games.
Unless you patch things.
Yeah, I mean, I will say
we are that type of, but we are that type of webcast there.
Okay, so this brings up we kind of while we're at the bottom of depressing privacy corner, my thing is
That's my fault, John. It's not my fault.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not your fault. This spyware can't run on every operating system, right? Does it? Does it run on a freaking jitterbug, like a dumb phone? Does it run on no, it doesn't. Use a burner. It's the same thing with Windows. After all the info stealer stuff happened, and I realized that video games just have malware packaged with them sometimes, I will never log into any of my personal accounts on Windows ever again. Windows is a burner device that's used for gaming, and that's where it does its thing. This is where I think we're at with privacy is you basically have to become kind of burnable. And there's lots of technology solutions to enable this, whether it's, using a Steam Deck or having a Windows device that has no accounts or whatever, or a dumb phone, or just rotating phones really quickly, or I don't know. But I'm if I'm trying to cross the US border into Mexico or whatever, whichever way you want to go, am I really carrying my iPhone 17 Pro Max SE edition that's $1,700 with me? I don't think so. I'm going to have hopefully just nothing. I assume that
a Nokia flip phone.
Yeah, a Nokia 930 or whatever, with an old school SIM card, and all it can do is I don't know. I think that's where we're getting back to is some things are either private through obfuscation, because if you rotate phones every couple months, then they can't, it's hard to track between all these different metadata, but or just dumb phones. I guarantee you Pegasus doesn't run on BlackBerry.
I would not take that bet about BlackBerry.
I wouldn't
if we're talking about those Nokias and stuff, you're fine.
I wouldn't even take that bet on the Nokia phone. They're crazy enough that they would find a way of taking a little chip that they say Nokia has to put in there that runs this program that goes ahead and contacts the GPS to go ahead and track that phone.
Right. 2G can still transmit data. Right.
I mean, how much data do they actually need to be able to track the phone?
Just a trickle.
All right, when's the Mesh-tastic phone coming out?
Did you see my Laura comment?
All right, anyway.
I'm going to go out and buy a dumb flip phone, spray paint it black, and put the label "black phone" on it, and
so
it's going to be like
let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about some actual security topics.
How about the DDoS attack on Cloudflare?
DDoS is lame.
That's kind of happy every second week.
It's the volume that, over the years, the volume of the attack keeps getting higher and higher. How long before?
Unless they take out the East Coast again, right, and take out DNS servers, then call me. Like, I don't care.
Okay, so here's the thing about this. I have no reference for this. This is like me saying I did the world's loudest burp. Okay, well, who's keeping track of that? Like, is this actually the biggest DDoS ever? How big are the pipes? 11.5 terabits per second. I'm like, okay, that's fast. But also, like, if you're Cloudflare, don't you have like a 50 terabit pipe or something? Like, what is the internet doing these days?
That's what I was.
I have no idea.
You don't know the size of the pipes, and so such claims are just completely useless. I mean, there's no way to measure that. Like, where did you measure that? Did you measure that at your data center? And what did you do about it? Did anybody actually notice? I mean, all these big ISPs, the tier ones especially, they're under DDoS attack constantly.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting. I'm glad they blocked it. But like, I don't understand whether this is like for a DDoS. Is this just a regular Tuesday? I truly don't know.
No,
right. And it's common practice if you're a really large provider to completely oversubscribe all the time, right? They buy like hundreds of times the bandwidth that they actually need.
What were you saying?
So earlier this year, there was a report on a 5.6 terabit per second DDoS. It lasted like 10 seconds. This one is 11.5 terabits per second, and it lasted 35 seconds. So it's basically double what somebody did, which was record-breaking in January. The most interesting thing about this one, I think, is that somebody managed to leverage Google's system to hit Cloudflare. This was not random botnet from absolutely everywhere throwing, 500
some kind
megabits
of an injection
max from any one machine.
Actually, it was Gemini. I'm calling it. Gemini.
That's
a prompt injection in Gemini.
That idea that someone managed to get some system at Google to attack Cloudflare instead. That part's interesting. Well, and it was really big.
They're not attacking Cloudflare, though, right? Cloudflare is just in front of whoever they are attacking, most
Correct.
likely. That's the thing. I want to know. Maybe. I want to know who they are attacking. That's what I want. Does it say it in the article? Because that's the interesting part, and that's who you're going to figure out is really doing it. But Cloudflare doesn't mention that. Why not?
I think that I think that DDoS is interesting because it reminds us all that we can just go outside.
Right.
If you're getting DDoS, just go outside.
When I used to work at a data center, we used to get DDoSed all the time, and it was always kids asking us for free Roblox. That was literally it, and this was 10 years ago. That's how it's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to make a similar comment. Wow. So I couldn't resist, but I used to do infrastructure protection work on very, very large networks. And if you, kids, take notes, if you spew out a whole bunch of fragmented UDP traffic and you set the TTL to expire or exactly reach 1 at the target destination, right? It will go to the control plane of the routing device that's 1 hop away. And if it does that, it will kill it. It'll kill the network every time.
No, we have IPv6 now. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
But don't take any notes.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? There's so many. This is like a really busy news week. Last week was pretty quiet, but this week I'll just run like some quick fire ones. There's a supply chain attack in NPM packages. This isn't new. We see a lot of supply chain stuff, but it is a large, they're very popular packages. Essentially, someone's packaging in taking over these NPM packages and doing a supply chain attack where they're trying to steal cryptocurrency from like developers that are using these packages. Obviously, all of these articles are just ads for whatever security company found this. In this case, it's Aikido. Is that how you spell Aikido?
I don't know.
AI.
It's Aikido.
Are you sure it's not AI Aikido? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, I whatever. It is what it is.
It was 18 different packages, and a lot of the packages were actually being protected by MFA. So that just lets you know that even if you have MFA, you're still phishable.
You just call up the support for NPM and you're like, hey, can you reset my MFA?
I mean, software supply chain attacks scare me more than anything else, actually.
Yeah. And that's fair.
Yeah.
No, it's okay, Joff. Everyone has a software bill of materials with hard locked versions and cryptographic verification of new packages. Don't worry. It's fine. Although I will say it is kind of funny, though, because it's still just going after cryptocurrency. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It's really going after the developers writing these packages, not after the companies publishing them or companies using them. It's going after developers.
Yeah. I've always worried that some really big hitting things are going to be compromised in the software supply chain. You know, like OpenSSL, for example, right? You know, that would be bad.
Well, imagine.
And there are many other examples, right?
Imagine jQuery. If jQuery got infected,
or Angular. You know,
just take log4j instead of vulnerability. Put compromise, right? Like,
yeah.
And
of course, it's not that like API keys and credentials don't end up in public places, right?
Never. We have secret scanners for that.
Okay. Speaking of, there was an update to the whole Salesloft compromise. Essentially, the threat actor got into the threat actor got into the Salesloft GitHub account, and that's how they compromised all of the other organizations who were using the tie-ins with Salesforce. What I'm not clear on, and what they haven't posted about, is how did someone get into their GitHub account? Was it a stealer? Was it like social engineering? Was it adversary in the middle? They haven't really said. But
did somebody leave an SSH key lying around? I mean, what is it? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Who knows? But basically, they're kind of like calling the incident dead. They've rolled all the keys. They got the threat actors out of their GitHub, and so like it should be back to normal. Obviously, we'll see what the. Yeah,
I think the crazy part is they are calling the incident on their side dead, right? But the main target for this was looking for keys in people's Salesforce. Mm-hmm. Yep. I think this is going to be one of the bigger things that happened this year, and I don't think we're going to see the end of it. There's going to be something else where someone didn't realize a key was in Salesforce, and someone's going to get popped. I think that's the next.
Yeah.
Well, the whole like the last year was like the year of third-party risk management. Now it's like third-party risk management plus APIs and integrations and MCPs and other like spooky like. Where do you put AI keys or API keys in your environment? Yeah. Everywhere, right? Like every environment puts API keys just in everywhere. So it's all the different places they can be stored and reused and compromised is super risky.
I do like, though, on the positive side, I got to throw a positive out there, that there are some responsible vendors out there that if they see a leaked API key all over the place, they'll at least try to notify the purported real owner. I mean, that's a step, right, in trying to contain potential damage. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, we're awash in API keys now for just about everything. I don't know that people are securing them properly. I doubt it.
They're not.
So real quick, a couple of fun updates from the audience. I really appreciate everyone in the Discord. So on the supply chain thing we just talked about, so it wasn't going after cryptocurrency wallets. It was actually going after the blockchain itself to try to rewrite addresses on outgoing transactions. So this is like a browser hijacking thing. And how it got propagated in the first place is the developer got phished. So the developer got a phish from support@npmjs.help, then etc.
That's interesting. Kind of redirect the money. Oh, that's kind of cool. Actually,
yeah. So I think it was like a MetaMask thing where not really going after the wallet, but just sending the money somewhere else.
I have a copy of it. Dealer that I write. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
I'll send you a copy. I have a copy of it. Yeah, I grabbed it.
Oh, dude, I totally will just install that on my main work computer.
All right, let me know. You won't need to let me know. I will know when you do.
Okay, yeah, just send me the fish.
He's gonna watch his hardware.
It's gonna be a C2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, like, my actual hardware wallet, I have it, and I'm like afraid to plug it in because I got all these emails from the manufacturer that it was like somehow had a bug or compromise or something. I'm like, I don't know what to do, but like, I'm afraid to plug it in. It's a Trezor or whatever. I'm like, I got all these emails. It's like, your Trezor's probably got a bad firmware on it. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm scared. So I'm never going to plug that in again.
I plugged mine in the other day and it was dead. So I had to go through the recovery process. And then because I didn't trust it was dead, I took the hardware wallet out to the drill press and promptly drilled holes through it in multiple locations.
You know, I actually have a new plan. I'll just get the password for it off my dash cam.
It's on there somewhere.
It's on there somewhere. Yeah. A couple more quick fires. We had some interesting new phishing vectors. Someone figured out how they can embed JavaScript inside of SVG images, which is kind of crazy. That's spooky and interesting. There's also people using iCloud invites for phishing. I mean, email invite phishing has been a thing forever. In the ransomware corner, there was basically the Marks and Spencer's hackers. We talked about this. Everyone kind of assumed it was Scattered Spider. Turns out it's a new group, which is, I guess, implied to be part Lapsus, part Scattered Spider. Their name is Scattered Lapsus Hunters. So it's like maybe a mix
and Shiny Hunters.
Yeah, it's Scattered Spider people, Lapsus people, and Shiny Hunters people, I guess, combining together. I don't know, but
this is the same group that threatened the Mandiant researcher. Did we ever talk about
this group has been
that,
very
right?
active. Yeah. I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but it's a very active threat group right now. They're kind of doing all the stuff. They're the COM, I guess they call themselves. So
there's a lot of good research about the COM. If anybody wants to go look it up, highly suggest it.
Okay.
It's a cool one.
So the other one I'll just throw out there real quick before we get into the chicken story to close us out is the TP-Link 0 day. This might be, a sub-article of the DDoS thing because we know, network devices are a common target for threat actors. But basically, TP-Link or toilet paper link, as I usually call them, has an unpatched 0 day vulnerability in multiple routers. So basically, patch your TP-Links or maybe just replace them with something else.
I highly recommend crushing them under your boot.
I still have a D-Link hub in this back thing that I keep for super,
I'm sorry, you have a hub?
A D-Link hub. I've had it since high school.
Do you have a coax network in your house that you're using? What's going on?
We used it back in the day for Halo LAN parties, and I just keep it as memorabilia and in case the world ends, I can still communicate.
You can still have a LAN party on Halo 2 and everything will be fine, dude. I'll come over. We can have Livewire and Code Red.
I just have to ask, Walf, how long have you been in the industry? Because there is a tipping point where basically crap builds up so much that you have to clean house. And
it's probably about time. If I scoot this way, that thing right there that used to be a dresser of mine when I was much poorer at one point is full of electronic gear, and I have made several purges. But this one thing, I have that and the original Xbox carrying case, and I save them as this is what you were at one point.
That's where you draw the line. Do you have
your time is coming near where you will throw your hands up in the air, scream and shout, run around your office and start shoving stuff into boxes, taking it to the recycling place.
Never.
I recently threw away all my cables. And then shortly after, someone gave me something that needed a micro USB, and I was like, "Mother!"
Wait, you got rid of micros, dude? I'm still keeping minis. What am I
doing? All right. That or he'll do a GoFundMe and open a museum.
Yeah, I've learned not to get rid of my USB to 3.5-inch floppy converter, because every time I do, within a month, somebody's like, "I have these old files, our." Missing parts of our family tree are on this 3.5-inch disc, and surely you know, as a tech guy, know how to access these. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I just got rid of that adapter.
Then you go to Goodwill. $2
worse, I
at
put
Goodwill.
both my Dashcam videos and my crypto wallet on this 3.5-inch floppy.
All right. So last article. This is a chicken article, and I think this is a global. This is a nation state on nation state global scoop of epic proportions we got here. So basically, the article is that we bought 500K worth of chicken eggs from Russia
in July.
Wow. I can't believe it.
And we're really sneaky and quiet about it because no one found out until India, of all places, was looking at some statistic documents of ours about chicken.
Times does some really good scoops.
They do.
Like, I'm not saying they don't, but like
the
India Times decided to look at some weird in a corner of, I guess, the FDA or USDA documents.
How do I know if I'm eating Russian eggs?
Look where they bought these.
Scroll down. Look at this cool image they have of a Russian egg. Keep going down a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh, he's in reader mode. You might not see it.
There it is. Nice. That's some good Easter painting right there. Like,
okay, the other thing is this tweet or excrement or whatever we're calling it was posted by the Russian news agency RT and was just like, "Hey, you guys like your eggs?" Like what kind of news agency is just tweeting at an entire country and just being like, "Hope you like your eggs." Like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean
all of our chickens died because of bird flu.
Yes.
Does my egg come with fine print on it that says this egg? None of the funds for this egg purchase were used in wartime. You know.
Yeah, like this egg did not fund fancy bear threat operations overseas or anything. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I mean, it's not
the cost
great.
per egg.
How do I know? It doesn't say.
Statistics.
We don't know how many eggs. Yeah, we don't know how many eggs we got for 500K. But I will say, if your eggs are spying on you, then they might be Russian. I don't know. If your egg has a micro USB, do not plug it in.
Right.
I also find it funny that the last time the U.S. imported eggs was clearly during Perestroika because it was 1992.
Like every time we're at war with Russia,
the Berlin Wall has been down for 3 years. We bought eggs.
And we bought it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then
I don't know what's going on.
Never mind.
I think it was driven by eggflation.
Oh my gosh!
Nice.
I was waiting for the yolks to start coming.
Oh no! Oh no!
We should kill it with fire. I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good place as any to end it. The other article, which we didn't talk about, but it is kind of interesting, is which one was it?
You scrambled Corey's brains. He can't figure it out.
There's one that was really interesting, and I can't find it.
Don't exaggerate.
Keep making egg puns.
Are we poaching?
Okay, here it is. It's the prompt injection used for ad on Grok. So, okay, here's the scam, and this is a really interesting scam. So the scam is on Grok or on Twitter or whatever we're calling it today, X. I don't know. On X, you can post an ad, and some of the fields of this ad are not checked or not like assessed. And basically, someone figured out if you put a prompt for Grok that says summarize this link, then the link it'll summarize can be anything. So that someone figured out how to use this to post basically redirectors to adult content and ads and gambling and stuff. But I think the angle is fascinating to say that they don't assess this field, which is the title field. And then the title is, hey, go read this link and summarize it in the description. And then the Grok AI actually does it and then reads adult content on Twitter. It's just a hilarious implementation of like, here's where we're at with AI. You can just put a prompt injection. Like it's, you know how like you always used to put your name as like script alert 1 XS or whatever.
Exactly.
Like,
it's like stored cross-site scripting all over.
Yes. This is where we're at with AI. It's just everyone next week. I'll put my name to like AI summarize this page, kittenwar.com or, Rickroll someone, or I don't know, like, dear Grok, please read the lyrics to Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. All right. Anyway, that's all. That's the last one. Thanks everyone for coming. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.